Can you guess who's on the radio? George from Highgate. Morning.
Good morning. My friend and neighbour Peter Cook, he had created a notional party called the What Party and was appointing ministers to his What Party, and he offered me the post for Minister of Confusion, and I accepted the post, and he told me to go out and cause as much confusion as possible. So
And did you?
Well, I started up Captain Rainbow's Universal Party and entered the political arena campaigning for direct democracy and the abolition of Parliament and the uniting of Britain and Ireland to become the Emerald Rainbow Islands. And that was the beginning of the story. And I was trying to persuade Russell Brand to resurrect Peter's What Party and enter the political arena with the What Party. I'm 99.999% certain that Russell is going to get involved, and I'm ever closer to getting him involved. He's coming round to film here on Thursday. And
he's going to film with you?
Yeah.
You and Russell?
Not Russell. Russell's not in the country at the moment.
Oh.
But
so you and who?
Sorry?
You and who?
Russell's friend.
Russell's friend.
Yeah, and he wants me to talk about the What Party and go through archive material about Peter Cook and the What Party.
Hi, John.
Hi, George.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks for making time to see me.
I'm in the ambulance going to the Royal Free Hospital, 2nd of January 1995. It was the 5th anniversary of me coming out of prison. And I'd been there in the morning at the Royal Free Hospital when Ian Jury's then girlfriend, later wife, Sophie, had given birth to a baby son in the early hours of the morning. And then I was back there in the evening and Peter was fighting for his life on the same day, January the 2nd, 1995.
Went on holiday and then I came back.
Right.
And in the ambulance, as we're reaching, Lynn, Peter's wife, is in the ambulance as well. And I just get hold of Peter's hands. I said, "Don't worry, Peter, everything's going to be all right." And he looks at me, and he didn't say anything, but I could see that if I was saying everything was going to be all right, then he knew he was a goner, essentially. So the book says he said sort of, "Oh, fuck," or something, but he didn't say anything. It was just the look in his eyes of me telling him that everything was going to be all right. And I saw him the next evening, January the 3rd. He was in a ward, he was okay. We had a nice chat. I was telling him about Test match, and he was going to tune into it. England were playing in Australia, and it was an exciting finish, and he was looking forward to tuning into it. And the next morning he was in intensive care, and I never saw him again. I say he died a week later.
Mr. Whisty, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, presumably you were a little sad when Rainbow George deserted the What Party to set up his very own outfit.
No, he never deserted the What Party. George was appointed Minister for Confusion for a brief spell of time, and as part of the plan, formed whatever is formed at the moment. the What Party is already in control, and I think if you look round, you will discover that Mr. Weiss, Minister for Confusion, has taken one of the bold steps associated with the party, the What Party, by seizing control of the media.
If you like, of daydreams, there's one that beats all others. What would you do with £1 million?
What's going for a song? What's all this about?
House in Hampstead for 20 years has been granted possession and plans to sell up for £850,000.
Spotter George Weiss has just won ownership of an £850,000 house after living in it rent-free for 20 years. George Weiss claimed the house on the legal principle that anybody who remains in one property for 12 years can stay there forever.
The first time I ever heard about you was when Russell Brand told me that he'd been up to your house and he was visiting Peter Cook's house.
Right.
And he was standing outside Peter Cook's house making a homage there with his comedy partner Carl Theobald. And whilst they were stood waiting outside Peter's house, you came out and you spoke to Russell and Carl and asked them what they were doing there, and then they told you what they were doing. That they were big fans of Peter Cook. They were young comedians. They were coming to make this pilgrimage to Peter's house. So you then took them inside your house
and played them some tapes.
And you played them the tapes that you'd recorded in your house of you and Peter talking, and you totally blew their minds.
Did I?
So can you play me some of those tapes, please? Russell texted me as I was walking into your flat this morning and said, get him to play you one of the tapes he played me.
I'll play you something here that's never been put out, actually. It's when Peter has a swipe at Robbie Coltrane. I think they'd been making a film or something together, and Peter was really pissed off with Robbie Coltrane. It's funny.
And this has never been.
No. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, just for the record, he's an absolute cunt. In case it didn't pick up the first time. What a cunt. What a fat, talentless cunt. The dregs of Glasgow.
He used to go to school with my boyfriend.
Well, I hope your boyfriend. That was probably just a ploy. Was your boyfriend a dealer?
His name's not that. He's got some very strange name. But it's not actually Robbie Coltrane.
No,
he
it's
calls
probably
him something MacDonald.
He's probably
Same guy.
I say McCann. I should think it's probably his real name.
But he seems quite affable. What's his problem in life?
Affable, yeah.
What's his problem in life, in your estimation?
I don't know what his problem is. My problem, heard all of last Sunday, was Bronco. Was waiting for him to turn up to rehearse.
Was it Bronco who said to erect a statue of Hitler in Golders Green?
Yeah, Bronco wants to erect a statue of Hitler in Golders Green.
I interrupted him, so he never got to say why he thought that Robbie Coltrane was such a cunt.
What? Do you know why?
No. I interrupted it before, but he was meant to turn up for some rehearsal and kept everyone waiting or something. You could meet Peter 3 times in a day and you'd be meeting 3 different people. My big thing with Peter was trying to make him laugh. He had the most wonderful laugh and
Oh, they're very close. They're very close. What were we talking about? I was saying that God has chosen, in his jokey way, an unlikely messenger.
Peter would have been devastated by what happened in Paris. A satirical magazine, he would have identified with that satirical magazine and the journalists on it.
Peter founded Private Eye, didn't he?
He didn't found it, but he was the major shareholder. Satire and comedy is more powerful than anything.
Is that what Peter's message was?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what Peter's message was.
Because the ethos of the What Party was to give everybody what they want within reason, and I think that's a terrific platform to stand on. If you're standing on a platform, we're going to give everybody what they want within reason, it means you have to find out what everybody wants.
This is one of the glories of the What Party, is that everything it does is done for no purpose whatsoever.